Hello, everyone. Good afternoon. I hope you're doing pretty well. I'm connecting because I want to share with you something that I should be celebrating, and I'm actually pretty excited. Now that I think about it, I'm pretty excited how far I have come over the last 10 years. It hasn't been easy, I must admit. It's been a challenge. It has been a challenge, but um, we are in the best stage that we have ever been. And I think a lot it had to do with the vision that I had in back in 2008. And, and also the people that has helped me throughout the years and the many different things that I have learned over the last 10 years. I think I have shared part of this story before, but I'm gonna go into a little more detail today because it is the 10th anniversary of what is called the Hispanic Business Showcase Day in San Diego, because we got a proclamation after that event that we hosted back in 2010. Brief, very quick. I launched the Hispanic Chamber of E-Commerce in 2008, and originally I uh, launched it, with the idea of just being an online business association and be completely focused on helping small businesses to understand how to use technology and the internet to become more competitive in the marketplace. This is in 2008, okay, when we were talking about uh, technology and e-commerce and the importance of providing access to all these digital resources to small businesses, especially in the Latino community when we started, because we could see that digital divide that exists back then and still exists today. So we launched the organization, and as you can imagine, being in San Diego, there was another Hispanic chamber, the San Diego County Hispanic Chamber of Commerce, that has been in the market for over 30 years. And at that time, of course, some of the leaders in that organization didn't really like the fact that there was another Hispanic chamber in town. So we start getting attacked by some folks, and they start spreading news in the community that the Hispanic Chamber of E-Commerce wasn't uh, a reputable organization, that they didn't know anything about me, of course, because I moved from Morelia, Michoacan in 2006. So I was fairly new in San Diego 2 years later, 2008. I didn't I didn't have a strong network of contacts in the city of San Diego, um, but that changed very quickly. I knew what I had to do in order to let the market that I was as legit as the other chamber that was in town for many years, and that my intentions were good. So when I was reaching out to potential sponsors for the Hispanic Business Showcase, which originally was going to be an e-commerce and technology expo, but the potential sponsors were not really, understanding the concept behind that idea that I had 10 years ago, and there wasn't like a pandemic or a recession of anything. It was just like my knowledge of how this approach and how this vision was going to contribute to the growth and the economic empowerment of small businesses in the Latino community. So when I started reaching out to potential sponsors and I realized that the name wasn't really connecting with them, I had to change the name to Hispanic Business Showcase. And it was, of course, a business and technology expo. And I wanted to make it big. I wanted to communicate a strong message to the marketplace. And I wasn't planning on going to a little venue or a little room inside of a hotel to host this event because I was just gonna fuel the rumors that were in the community back then that they were saying that we were not legit, that we were not a serious business associations with good intentions or with a program, etc. So I decided to go big, and I decided we're gonna go to the San Diego Convention Center. And of course, at that time, I literally had $140 in the bank account of the Hispanic Chamber of E-Commerce. And for some of you that have hosted events in California, you know that it's extremely expensive to host an event in California in a convention center, in a hotel, you name it. Any type of event in California, even at the small venues, because we host those too, they are expensive. So I set up a meeting with an event planner at the San Diego Convention Center, gave me all the information, and they said, like, look, if you want to host a 2-day event, you must sign the contract for 3 days because you need 1 day for setup and everything. I'm like, okay, well, let's do it. How much is gonna be? About $16,000. And that's how I stay. Like that's how I react. I still remember that day. And I said, here's the contract. This is what you need to do. This is where you need to sign. I grabbed a pen. I signed the contract. I walk out of the convention center, and I was like, why did I choose to? How am I going to make this happen? And believe me, I was like a little like, wow. But, like for those that know me now, like if you challenge me on something that I strongly believe that is deeply in my values, in my heart, is the worst mistake you can do because I'm going to make it happen by any means necessary, no matter what. Every time that I set my mind to accomplish something, there is nothing that can stop me, if I'm healthy, of course. So sign the contract. Then I have never hosted an event in the States. And of course, in Mexico is different. I have hosted events in Mexico before I moved here, but the planning was completely different. When I signed that contract, I didn't know some of the expenses that I was going to incur. I didn't know that every single thing that needed to be lifted inside the convention center had to be with a member of the staff, etc. So I didn't know many things about hosting an event that large in San Diego, and I was already in red numbers by a big number, and I didn't have that money in the bank account of the Hispanic Chamber of E-Commerce. And if you allow me, let me show you something real quick. Let me show you um, a picture from, this is the day before the expo start. So this is when the company that we hired to set up the booths and stuff, that's when they were arriving. This is in the back of the convention center. And that's when they start like setting up the main entrance. Welcome to the Hispanic Business Showcase. It still feels like yesterday when they were like setting that up in front of the venue. I'm extremely grateful for the companies that believed in us at that time, from SDG&E, the first local corporation in San Diego that supported us and have supported us every year since then. Very grateful to SDG&E and for everything that they do to support the community here in San Diego. US Bank, Liberty Mutual, AFLAC, Verizon Wireless. Then we have many strategic partners. Fernando Espuelas was one of the keynote speakers. I say hi to Fernando. And many different media outlets. And that was the entrance of the Business and Technology Expo, September 10, 2010, 152 exhibitors, and that's that was the day before the event. Okay, it was a huge deal for me and a huge deal for the organization. So that was the convention center. I I hired a company to help me with the PR and stuff. They dropped the ball, didn't do a good job. I had a few other challenge with some of the people that I thought that were gonna help us out and stuff. I'm not gonna lie to you. On I was on April or May 2010. I was about to drop the towel. I was like, nah, this is too much. I cannot make this happen. And, I'm just going to cancel everything. And my wife says, like, nah, remember the reasons why you started this project. And remember the stuff that we have gone through over the last few months. And what she meant by that is like a year before, my son was born, and he was born with a heart condition. So he was in the intensive care unit for almost 4 weeks, debating between life and death, and that has been like the most stressful situation that I have ever been in my whole life, and I think it's gonna be extremely hard to match that level of stress and anxiety and sadness and everything that I was dealing with in in 2009 when my son was born, and then surgeries and going to the hospital, to get heart checkups every 3 weeks in the beginning, then every month and a half, and as you go. So I was dealing with a lot of stuff, at that time. And my wife told me, you're going to do it for your son, and you're going to do it for all those people that have trusted on you so far. Because we had a few members, at that time. And I was like, you know what? You are right. We're going to make this happen. And we did it. We make it happen. But after the event was over, which, by the way, let me do a little parenthesis right now, because I want to take this opportunity again to thank Ramon de Leon, which he was one of the folks that encouraged me to keep moving forward with the event, because I reached out to him to get speakers, because on top of the expo, we have 3 breakout sessions where we hosted over 20 different speakers in those 3 breakout rooms. I'm sorry, and we have Mary Smith, which I'm very grateful for her support, Nan Palmero, Fernando Espuelas, and many other speakers. We were talking about social media marketing, we were talking about video marketing, we were talking about SEO, search engine marketing, website development, etc. I mean, a lot of the stuff that right now people are talking about because of the pandemic, which is great, and I'm so grateful that there are more organizations talking about the importance of getting small businesses online and getting more businesses to start selling their products and services through the internet, because it's the one thing that we've been talking about since 2008. So very grateful for Ramon de Leon for his support, and we had an amazing lineup of speakers, great topics, great presentations. The event wasn't as attended as I was expecting, of course, because some of the media partners dropped the ball, didn't do a good job helping us out, etc. Many different factors happened, but at the end of the day, we were able to fulfill our commitment, and we sent a very strong message to the marketplace. I let everyone know, look, we are in this business for good. The Hispanic Chamber of E-Commerce is going nowhere. I have my heart and soul into this project. I strongly believe in the stuff that I'm talking about, which is the how can we help small businesses to compete more effectively in the marketplace by using the internet as a business tool. And I was 100% committed and determined to make it happen. So we sent a strong message to the marketplace, and After that event, we start growing. The organization actually broke even, for the first time since we started in 2008. In 2011, I was able to start paying back the debt that I ended up with the Hispanic Business Showcase, because I ended up with $32,000 debt after that event. And my wife is like, you're going to have to rethink about your business model, because we cannot keep putting money into this business association if you're not going to be able, to get more businesses to join, or more corporations to sponsor, etc. But I knew that the time was going to come, and it was just a matter of, you know, building the reputation so people could see that I was legit, that I'm passionate about this. I have a very strong record on everything that I have said and I have done over the last uh, 12 years, working with the sorry, I gotta go. Working with the small business community in San Diego and beyond. I mean, you can see, you can Google some of the stuff that we have done over the few years, and we're not just jumping into this whole like, technology commerce wagon right now because of the pandemic. This is something that is in our hearts, and this is something that we've been talking about for the last 12 years. And and we are one of the most knowledgeable business associations, of Hispanic business associations, in when it comes about how we can help the small businesses to take their business to the next level through the use of the internet as a business tool. So today, I should be celebrating, with a big uh, expo, the 10 years, booths, etc. But, things happen in many different ways. But what I'm working on right now is that we're going to host the original idea that I had back in 2010, which it was an e-commerce and technology expo. Now I'm going to host that e-commerce and technology expo in the first quarter of next year. Um, it took 10 years to actually, make that originally concept happen, because at that time people were like, nah, that's not that, nah, we don't understand it, the businesses don't care about the internet, Latinos are not selling anything online, etc. I mean, I can go on and on about the different stuff that I heard back in 2010, but now, because of a pandemic and because of a necessity, it is extremely important that we keep educating the small business community about the different options that they have to keep competing in the marketplace, locally, regionally, statewide, nationally, internationally, by using the internet as a business tool, by having maybe like a hybrid business model, retail, e-commerce, but they must have an online presence, and they must have a way to sell their products and services online. So today, 10 years later, after that Hispanic Business Showcase, I'm celebrating the message that we've been communicating over the years. I'm thanking again to all the different corporations that have supported us over the years to get to where we are right now. I'm also thankful to all those corporations and strategic partners that are reaching out to us to see what we can do together to help, the business community keep moving forward, keep growing, especially in these challenging times. So we still have a lot of work to do, because the digital gap between the general market and minority entrepreneurs still exists. The majority of the small businesses in the US, the more than 30 million small businesses that are in the country, do not have an online presence. The majority of them, more than 50%, 65%, I should say, but some are going to say 47, 50. I mean, it depends on what type of reports you are reading out there. The reality is that half of them do not have an online presence. And if we want to make our economy even a little more productive, and if we want to be able to create new business opportunities, we must continue the work that we're doing, not just us, but all the organizations that are helping right now to get businesses online, from private, public, nonprofits, etc. It's extremely important that we continue doing this work because the business community needs us, or need us, I'm sorry, more than ever. And we have the know-how, we have the passion, we have the knowledge, we have the connections to keep empowering our community through through you know videos and websites, online stores, etc. So I'm very excited for what's coming. um, I think next week we are announcing the new initiative that we're launching with our uh, very strategic and dear partners of Wells Fargo. We're gonna announce a big campaign that is gonna have a lot of positive impact in the community, and I'm very excited about it. I'm very excited about what's coming as a result of this pandemic, because now, thanks to this pandemic, the stuff that we've been talking about for the last 12 years now is in like a fat speed right now. Everyone is listening, or at least the majority of the small business owners are listening, and they're paying attention to the recommendations that we're giving them in terms of like where you need to go all online, you need to go hybrid. You can still do retail, but you have to find a way to take payments online or over the phone, etc. So listen, every business owner that is still in business, even during these challenging times, or even those that are, they had to close and they're coming up with a new idea, everyone has to have an online presence. And there are many different organizations in the market that can help you out. We have two right now, the U.S. Business Association of E-Commerce and the Hispanic Chamber of E-Commerce. In both of them, the goal is to get as many small businesses as we can online with an online store so they can sell their products and services, not just in the US, but globally. And we're going to be working with that. We have another big announcement coming in October. We will have a new marketplace that is going to help to position products in Europe. Very excited about it. So we're working really hard. Like I said in the beginning, it hasn't been easy. This has been a very challenging and adventure with a lot of ups and downs. Since we started the Hispanic Chamber of E-Commerce back in 2008. But I can tell you that I'm extremely proud of the work that I have done over the last 12 years, because my heart is in trying to help as many small businesses as I can. I don't do this for, just to get a sponsorship or just to get national recognition or whatever. Like, I was born and raised by two parents that were entrepreneurs. I understand since I was a child, the challenges that family-owned businesses go through, small businesses go through, and because of my experiences and my knowledge, I wanted to translate all that and my passions and values, etc., into the Hispanic Chamber of E-Commerce, and that's how the concept was born. I tried to share the idea with the other chamber, never listened, never took any action, and just because I felt like it was something I needed to do, I made it happen, and I've been very disciplined, and I have worked really, really hard to make this concept work, and also to get the respect that any other business association that has been in the market for decades has. A Hispanic Chamber of E-Commerce has earned his respect through work, dedication, and by putting together great events like the Hispanic Business Showcase, the Latino I Connect, the Q&As that we have hosted. We have invested thousands of dollars and thousands of hours educating the small business community since 2008, seminars, workshops, online, offline, everything. We have had great speakers over the years. We have done very little work in terms of like lobbying and that kind of stuff, but our work has been on the field, where you can create an impact. Okay, you look at our track record, no big galas, no big you know mixers and that kind of stuff, because I have always wanted that if you come to an event hosted by the Hispanic Chamber of E-Commerce, I want you to learn something. I want you to be able to make some good connections, etc. And that has been, key to our success over the years. And now that everyone is a little more receptive of getting information online, now we're going to be able to reach more people through our different platforms and through video, through uh, our seminars, etc. We still have a lot of work to do, and if we have a country in Asia that was able to increase their middle class because they were using an online platform, an online marketplace that was providing them access to the different resources that they need to compete globally, and I'm talking about a big marketplace that you all guys know. Now I think that with the concept that we have, we can accomplish the exact same thing because we have the knowledge of what's happening on the field. We understand the needs of the many business owners that we talk to and we have talked to over the years. And now we're putting all those resources under that marketplace. And now we're reaching out to different corporations and entities that want to reach out to small businesses across the country that want to help them out. We have a value proposition for them, like many other organizations that are in the marketplace. We just happen to be one of them. And I don't know how many have their own like framework, online infrastructure or platform like we do. And I'm extremely proud of it because of the integrations that we are doing. We just integrated Google My Business into our platform. We just integrated a shipping vendor that is going to allow us to offer an e-commerce tool that is going to help small businesses to ship their product anywhere in the world. Okay, and if your company offers a high quality service or resource to the small business community, reach out to us because we want to keep feeding this business ecosystem, online business ecosystem that we're building. Okay, so there you go, guys. I think in 2010, 2012, a lot of people thought that the Hispanic Chamber of E-Commerce was not going to make it, especially those that knew that I was in debt with 30,000 plus. I think it was marked at 32,000. It was just for the contract that I signed with the San Diego Convention Center after all the expenses that I didn't take into consideration when I hosted that event. But there is a saying that what doesn't kill you makes you stronger, right? And I'm extremely grateful for my health, the support of my wife, of course, because without her, any of my crazy ideas wouldn't be possible. Because if I don't have the support of my biggest business partner, which is my wife, the one that I live with, the one that I see every day, if she doesn't buy the concept, it's very difficult to make it happen because I'm not willing to put my marriage or my family at risk just because I want to host a business expo. That probably the people that I'm trying to help out won't even appreciate. That's the other thing that I have learned over the years. I've been trying to do stuff for the majority of the members and the followers of the association because it is impossible to have 100% of them happy, completely impossible for many different reasons, okay? So I'm always just trying to be as resourceful, as helpful to those that are the most engaged and active with the organization. And thanks to that, we keep growing. And thanks to that, we're here today. Okay? And hopefully, I will continue to do the job that I'm doing for many, many years, for as long as I enjoy doing, and I see the the if I get the, like the energy and the good vibe and the feeling that I know that I'm doing something good for others, that I'm doing something good for our community, that I'm doing something good for the businesses that are members of the association, and that's what I do. Someone was telling me the other day, as I tell you, you're too smart. You should be doing something else, and you will be rich by now. I know a lot of rich people that are unhappy. Many. And I'm really happy with what I do. And my wealth is reflected in so many different levels in my life that makes me 100% happy with what I have. And it motivates me to keep doing what I'm doing and visualizing some of the stuff that I still have some really crazy ideas that I want to make happen, through the U.S. Business Association of E-Commerce and the Hispanic Chamber of E-Commerce. And I know I'm going to make them happen. And that motivates me to keep doing what I'm doing. And now with this pandemic and knowing that e-commerce and technology and online tools have helped small businesses to survive, it's not something that I didn't know, but it's just like the reinforcement of everything that I've been saying over the years is it's feeding my inner soul, my heart, my energy. I mean, I'm very motivated right now for what we're working on and for what's coming. So thank you very much for watching this live. Thank you so much to every single person that made the Hispanic Business Showcase happen in 2010. I'm very, very grateful also for all those that didn't believe in us in 2010. Because of all of you, the good and the bad and the evil and all of you, because of all of you, we're here today. And that's a big accomplishment for a little project that started as a result of a dissertation for my master's degree program. It's crazy. I mean, when I look at how everything started and where we are and how many lives we have been able to impact over the last 12 years, I mean, I could shut down everything right now and I will feel extremely happy and extremely satisfied with what we have been able to accomplish over the last 12 years. Just with those 12 years alone, I'd be like, you know what? I'm moving to something else. I think I did my share. I have accomplished many of my goals, and I have helped many, many, many business people, entrepreneurs, and other strategic partners to accomplish their goals. I'm done. I'm happy. Let's move to the next big thing, right? But I still have that fire in me, and I still want to work with small businesses. I love working with entrepreneurs, with business owners. I have built many good relationships over the years, and I still feel like we have things to do. It's like you become a champion 2-3 times, and you still feel like you want to earn another championship. And I think this is a really good time to keep doing what we're doing. There is a lot of need, for organizations like ours that have the focus that we have, and we're just gonna keep doing our work with the same passion, with the same integrity, the same discipline to make things happen for the organization, for all the stakeholders that are part of the organization, for all the members of the associations, and we're gonna still working together and working very, very hard for all those that believe in us. So thank you very much for watching. Thank you very much for your comments. I usually don't read them because I'm, concentrated on what I think I want to say, because I never script things. Everything just comes from my heart. And you know, sometimes I may be redundant because they have told me that before, but this is me. You know, I like to speak from my heart, and I like to be very honest about everything that I say. So thank you very much for watching, and thank you very much, guys, for your support. I'm telling you, we wouldn't be here if it wasn't for you. So thank you, thank you, thank you very much for supporting the Hispanic Chamber of E-Commerce. Thank you for supporting the U.S. Business Association of E-Commerce now. And let's keep working really hard to make great things happen for our businesses, for our community, and for our country. Thank you. Have a nice evening. And go Texans. Let's go watch the Texans right now. Take care.